listening to a Barrie Colts podcast with your hosts, Ryan Noble and Ryan McArthur. On today's episode, the Barrie Colts depth chart for 2018-2019 and attendance at BMC. So enjoy.
The rawness, my roaring jaws harness is awesome. Often in dead mics I grip with my paw prints, armed with the sharpest wit.
And welcome to a Barrie Colts podcast. I am your host, Ryan Noble, and with me today we have...
I'm Ryan McArthur, here once again for our second ever episode.
And we'll do, I guess we can do the Twitters as well again, like we did on the first episode. I'm at Ryan Noble 66, RYANNOBLE, the number is 66.
And I'm at Ryan P. McArthur, RYANPMCARTHUR. And don't forget to follow Barrie Colts at VERYBARRIECOLTS.
Nice plug there, buddy. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's it. So let's start episode 2. Today, as you heard in the intro, we're going to be just taking a look at the Barrie Colts depth chart for the upcoming 2018-19 season. And we're going to just dabble into, not too much, but just get into Barrie Colts attendance and how it was not super great last season. But obviously, we're going to start off with the depth chart. What we're going to be looking at actually is going to be a post that Ryan McArthur here did. It was the 6th of August. So we're so anxious that we got that out there as early as we can. But we're going to just go through basically what his projected roster would look like. Obviously, as we got training camp just right around the corner here at the end of the month. Things could change. People could move up. People could move down. But as of right now, we're going to just go off of what you kind of have projected here.
Yeah, and I mean, to do a depth chart on August 6th is a little ambitious. It's very early. The key thing to remember here is training camp is going to be important for all players, and it's going to be where the team is made. This is my best guess for what I think the team's going to be. It's pretty close. It's also very close to the article that Gene Pereira came out with recently. One of our favorite guys involved with the Colts color guy, pretty much had a similar sort of depth chart. So yeah, basically to make the depth chart, there was a couple assumptions that were needed. The first assumption was to not include Andrei Svechnikov and Dmitry Sokolov. The expectation is that both these guys are going to turn pro and that we probably aren't going to see them in a Colts uniform next year. So
absolutely. I mean, Svechnikov, I think, is a lock on that one, as we did mention, obviously, in the previous episode. Sokolov, obviously, is not quite as locked in. And even guys like Magwood, like we said, he might not also be available either. And also we need guys like Picard, whether or not he is actually going to
report to the Colts
or show up to the Colts, right? So obviously, like we mentioned, it might be a little bit premature, but we're just so anxious, as we know a lot of the people that are tuning in are, to see what the roster looks like. So let's start off with what we had for the first line center. You had Ryan Suzuki.
Yeah, Ryan Suzuki. So Suzuki's going into his draft year. We've seen him ranked sort of 5th to 20th in the draft rankings so far for the 2019 NHL draft. Ryan just recently played at the U17 Hlinka Gretzky Cup, and he had an extremely strong performance. He was 3rd in tournament scoring with a goal, 7 assists for 8 points, and Team Canada won the championship. Ryan was one of 4 OHLers on the team, so that was pretty good to have him there. I was kind of surprised that there was only 4 OHLers on the team. I think maybe the 2002 group is a little stronger. I think you're going to see maybe 6 to 7 OHLers from the 2002 born players, so that's next year's Hlinka Gretzky Cup. But Ryan Suzuki was one of them. Him, Mike Vukojevic, Jameson Reese, and Graham Clark. And there's a little controversy in the championship game.
Yes, I don't really. Well, yeah, no. So obviously there was the qualifying medal game there against Team USA.
Semifinal, yeah.
Where the goal that obviously went in after the regulation. Now, there's a lot of people obviously that were upset, and I'm sure that if it was the other way around, we would have had a lot of upset Canadians on Twitter and all across social media for that matter. And though I get and I appreciate the emotions that people had, the rules are the rules. The tournament doesn't have instant replay, and as much as we would, they probably.
Yeah.
That's probably something that they should. I mean, it's 2018. Let's use technology. I mean, we're seeing it across. Well, in hockey itself and other sports utilize it as well. So, it's really hard to expect a tournament to change its rules towards the end of the tournament. Just it stinks, but when you have the benefit of instant replay with slow motion, it's a lot different than being an on-ice official. And as far as what happened on the ice, they felt like they got the right call. And did they? No, but unfortunately, it was just a tough break for teams.
Yeah, humans make mistakes. Like, I don't know. I'd probably feel the same way even if it went the other way. Canada had lost in a similar situation. It's basically up to the refs there, and the biggest oversight was obviously the tournament committee should have had that.
Absolutely.
Review in place for the medal round.
Absolutely. And moving forward, I'm sure that this is something that they're going to look into and maybe look into incorporating into the next tournament.
Yeah.
But until then, the rule is what it is, and Canada end up getting a win.
Yeah, man. Let's get back to Ryan Suzuki here. So basically, Ryan Suzuki, as all Colts fans know, and what he displayed at the Holinka Gretzky Cup, first and foremost, he's an exceptional playmaker. His passing is super next level. He sees the ice so well and has excellent spatial awareness, and he's just a wicked good setup guy. Like, all he needs is a trigger man and
absolutely
his money. So
and I mean, I think that the most exciting thing for me headed into the upcoming season with him is obviously winning gold. The confidence that playing in a tournament like that, and then to come out of that with a gold medal.
Yeah.
I mean, I think one thing that I felt that I noticed during the tournament itself, and I think was something that people kind of are hard on Suzuki last season anyways, was his willingness to hit. And I'm going to be honest with you, like, he was out there, he was throwing his body around, like, he was, and if that's something that he can incorporate, into his OHL season here this year, I think that that's really going to help benefit his game.
Yeah, and I mean, even if he's not hitting, he's got the hockey sense and the hockey IQ where he sees the ice so well that he's cognizant in all situations, and he anticipates the play, both ends of the ice. So he's cutting off pucks, he's kind of stripping the puck off guys. He does things a little different. He might not throw the biggest hits all the time, but yeah, like in the corner, he's bumping around and he's protecting his teammates after the whistle if anyone's messing with them or whatever. So he's doing what he's got to do with the physical aspect of the game. He just plays a different game. He's just smart, and he sees where the puck's going before the players on the other team make their decisions.
Yeah, and it's good to see that, like, you don't want him to force physical play because it obviously is not his strength. But at the same time, it is good to see him show that willingness. And, guys that are on the ice against him might reconsider moves if they feel that there's a possibility that Suzuki's going to be throwing the body around.
Yeah. And, I mean, another thing with Ryan Suzuki, the skating is just absolutely superb. He's got great speed, fantastic edges, stops on a dime. He's just, like, flying out there,
He's
man.
so good.
Unbelievable.
So good. And like you said, his hockey sense is just ridiculous.
Oh,
his
man.
ability to see the ice and just to see where the play is going. It's just for a young player. I'm really excited to see how he does this season, and seeing him get top line minutes is going to be very special, I think.
Yeah, he thinks the game so well. The only thing I'd say for him is maybe shoot a bit more. But I don't know, with the passing skills and stuff, he's got to think pass first. But the way I'd like to see him develop in terms of goal scoring is, if you look at Kevin LeBanc, he was another guy who was a pass-first kind of guy, and he figured out a way to kind of fake the pass and then throw in a shot, and he just fooled goalies on the regular in defense. Like, they had no idea what he was doing by the end of his career. He was just like a magician out there, and I think Ryan Suzuki could do the same thing, kind of fake the pass and kind of, I don't know, lose the D and the goalie and fool everybody, right?
No, absolutely. Like you said, he did get 86 shots on goal there last season. So with his 14 goals, if he were, more pucks on net is just going to generate more scoring opportunities, obviously.
Yeah, and then the last thing to mention about him is NHL.com did a article, and he was one of 7 players that they recognized in the entire tournament that increased his draft stock at the Holinka tournament. So I don't know. You're looking at the rankings, and he's around 5 to 20. I think 20 is way too high. That was before the Holinka. There's no way he's going that high. He could even get in the top 5. So we'll see how it goes for him this year. We're very excited, and really good summer for Rye.
I can absolutely have my thought as well is that especially with a good season this year, I could see him going top 5 for sure.
Oh, for sure.
So back to the depth chart, we're going to look at the first line's left winger, and we've got Lucas Chiodo.
Yeah, Lucas Chiodo, we discussed him a lot in episode 1, so we're not going to go too crazy on him here, but guy with wicked skill, wicked speed, can score a lot of goals. He had tons of points last year. 79 points, 30 goals, 49 assists, 79 points. Pretty solid. So look for him to be in the top line, top power play unit, and it just depends which way the Colts go. Like basically with this top line, we've got 2 overagers on it, so it's either going to be 2 of 3 of Chiodo, Magwood, and Hawerchuk. Lucas Chiodo, we're hoping it'll be one of those guys. So,
well, like you were saying with Suzuki about shooting the puck, I mean, Chiodo's one of those guys that does shoot the puck. 124 shots on goal last season, and again, he was a 30-goal scorer. So, and
he's getting older now, and it's 98 years. Shot's a lot better. I saw him at the Carnival Summer Showcase, and man, he was wiring the puck. So he's got a lot better shot than he had in his rookie year, that's for sure. And he's going to want to use it a lot this season.
No, absolutely. And
speaking of trigger guys, Zach Magwood,
which is who we have on the top, who you had on the top line for right wing.
Yeah, Zach Magwood. We discussed him a lot in episode 1, so we're not going to do too much on him. But just absolute wicked shot, excellent release, and just a howitzer, a cannon of a shot.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, 27 goals last season, 32 assists. If he's able to get top line minutes, he should the 59 points he got last year. He could easily just.
Oh yeah. We discussed that last episode about him getting power play time. He's got to be on the top power play unit if he's here. Hopefully he's here. He had really strong Preds camp. Preds signed him. So a lot of people are telling me they're thinking he's gone, but I don't know. The Preds could see the development opportunities that he could get one more year in Barrie.
And as we mentioned on the first episode, sometimes guys are better off getting top line minutes in the OHL than they are just kind of floundering in a bottom 6 pairing in the AHL or the NHL, right?
Yeah, and I think that the Preds just really wanted to lock up Magwood. I don't think it's necessarily whether they wanted him to play in the AHL. They wanted to lock him up. There was tons of teams that were interested. I think 16 NHL teams wanted to invite him to camp.
Incredible.
So, yeah, they wanted to make sure that they had him signed before someone else jumped in there.
Well, they did. You know what? Honestly, I feel that he will be in Barrie. So, maybe I'm being optimistic.
Fingers
and
crossed.
I'm just anxious to wear my Edward jersey to games this year. But either way, it'll be exciting to find out what happens with him. So. Now, if it ends up that we are not correct on that, and Magwood does actually, in fact, end up going to the Predators organization, on that spot we have Ben Hawerchuk.
Yeah, Ben Hawerchuk. Basically, he's looked pretty good in the Carnival Summer Hockey League this summer. His skating's really improved. He looks strong. I think he's going to turn a lot of heads and silence his critics if he is with the team. Gritty player. He finished a really nice penalty shot in the semifinals of the Carnival Summer Hockey League playoffs there. And every time he's at the games, he's all over the score sheet there. So Ben's looking pretty good. And I think a lot of the veteran Colts are looking pretty solid in terms of development and their conditioning. They're all looking a lot bigger, stronger. I think the Colts could turn a lot of heads this year with some of their older players developing more than a lot of people are expecting them to.
No, absolutely. You know what I mean? Ben is a guy that has, each season he's progressed and he's getting better, and I feel like if he does end up in a situation where he's on the top line or even in the top 6 role, he's playing with better players, and that's just going to help his point production.
Definitely.
He's capable of making good passes. And, he's definitely someone that could, for sure, if he ends up getting that that top pairing that could really benefit from it. And I think that he could end up proving a lot of people wrong.
Yeah, and he's battled a lot of injuries the last few seasons, so good to see him healthy and raring to go for 2018-19.
Absolutely. And so from there, then, we will go to the second line. And at center, we have another one of my personal favorites, Jason Wilms.
Yeah, Jason Wilms. 27 goals, 32 assists, 59 points last season. Didn't get a ton of first power play time because we had the big three, but he was out there a lot in the second power play unit. He does a lot of good stuff in front of the net. He's really good in front of the net. Basically, probably the best guy on the Colts in front of the net in that goal mouth scoring. So he broke out a bit last season, and it's not only his offensive game. I'd say he's probably the best two-way player on the Colts. Does pretty much everything well, the best face-off guy in the team. So we got high expectations for him. He's a pretty intelligent player, and sky's the limit for him this year.
No, absolutely. And he, last season, like you said, he's got 59 points last year. Outstanding in the face-off circle, 585 face-off wins. Short-handed goals, he got 3 last year. And on top of that, he got 4 power play goals as well. So even though he wasn't really getting as many opportunities as he maybe could have, he still was taking advantage of when he did get his opportunities.
Yeah, for him, he's really kind of going to be up on the depth chart. Like, if he ends up going off to the wing, he could be on the first line. He could even take over Suzuki on the first line, considering he's quite a bit older. I haven't seen him this summer, so it'll be interesting to see him at training camp, see how he develops. And, hopefully he's looking good at camp.
I'm sure that he'll show up to camp, and he's just a great player. And I'm sure that he's been training hard and getting just prepped for the season. So it'll be exciting to see how he looks. Then we'll go to the second pairing at left wing. We got Aiden Brown.
Aiden Brown, man, he had a really solid stretch last season of games, and he got several goals. He ended up having a bruised spleen, which was a really bad break because I think he got goals in 3 or 4 straight games, and he was really, really looking good. So, I talked to his dad about that one. They were pretty bummed when that happened, and because he was really rolling. But, man, Aiden Brown, he's just super gritty. He's a guy you want on your team.
Absolutely.
And you don't want to play against.
No, not at all.
So we don't want to trade him and have him terrorizing us. He just terrorizes the opposing D and players. Excellent body checker. Pretty good overall player.
No, absolutely. Like, he got 7 goals last season. 2 of those were game winners. So it's obviously when he might not score a lot of goals, but when he does, he makes it count, and he makes sure it happens at the right time.
Yeah, and Gene Pereira on his recent post said that he's basically a breakout candidate for Barrie. Dale Hawerchuk is expecting a lot from him this year, so he's going to be up there in that top 6, and we'll see. Hopefully he fills the score sheet. He's been filling the score sheet at Carnival Summer Hockey League, but in the OHL is a different story, and hopefully he can light the lamp in Barrie this year.
Well, you know what? He'll get that opportunity if he does end up in a top 6 role. So that'll be a good opportunity for him just to see, how much his game has advanced. So we're going to move over to the right wing where we've got Jaden Pekka.
Yeah, Jaden Pekka is another guy that could be. He's in the second line here, but he could end up moving up to the first line, right up to the top of the depth chart. His speed this summer has been really noticeable. I've been going down to some Carnival Summer League games, as I've mentioned a few times here. He's just flying out there, like filling the score sheet. Pretty much just an all-around stud. The Colts are going to get some serious offensive production out of Pekka. Easily a top 6 guy. Could end up being on the top power play unit.
And just shy of 50 points last season with 47, 16 goals, 31 assists. And coming out of just being at the camp for the the Arizona Coyotes.
Yes.
Wow, that was a slip. Anyways, I'm sure that he'll be raring to go and ready to go. And if he can get in that spot, and one thing is that if it ends up being Hawerchuk that does end up on that top line, like in the scenario where Meg Wood is not on the team, possibility maybe him and Hawerchuk maybe changing between that top spot on that top pairing.
Yeah, he's pretty close to the top line. This summer, they kind of in the semifinals of the playoffs in Carnival, They had a bit of a skirmish at the end of the game, and Jaden ended up tied up with somebody. His helmet came off, and geez, he just looked huge. Like his traps were just bursting out. Like, man, he's definitely developed, and like a lot of these guys, they're really strong now. Like, we got to remember the Colts had a really young team last season, and a lot of these players are older. They're a year older. They're getting to be veterans in the league, and they could start pushing some people around and really getting a lot of points.
Oh, absolutely. So we're going to jump to the third line now. And at center, you have Luke Bignall.
Yeah, Luke Bignall's my 2018-19 breakout candidate. Justin Stapleton wrote an article, and he included Bignall as one of his breakout candidates. So check that out on the Barrie Colts blog. He's looked absolutely amazing during the summer. Just an excellent playmaker, scorer, skater, great shot, just the complete package. And he's building a lot of chemistry with first-rounder Riley Piercy. They were dominating on the ice in the Carnival Summer League last week. So, I mean, yeah, he's looking to break out this season.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, here's a guy with a lot of game-winning goals, 7 goals, but 3 of them were game winners.
Yeah,
so,
clutch.
You know, it's good to, if you're going to be taking advantage of the times where you do score, it's definitely a good ability to have. So then we're going to move over to the left wing, and we have Sam Rhodes.
Yeah, Sam Rhodes. I mean, you're getting at the part here where the part of the depth chart where you're going to start to see stronger camps from some of these players. Sam Rhodes is one of those guys. He didn't quite show as much to us last year with only 3 goals, but he showed a ton of potential. Caught glimpses of brilliance, kind of, and he could end up being the next Chiodo. So we'll see how he's developed over the summer. But at this point on the depth chart for forwards, you're going to be looking at guys that are going to need a strong camp.
Oh, absolutely. He played 45 games last season in his rookie year. He got the 3 goals. I mean, it's you know, we'll get a better chance, obviously, to take a look at him this season. He's obviously going to get a lot more opportunities.
Yeah, I compare him a lot to Chiodo. Chiodo in his rookie year, he didn't really do too much in terms of like turning heads and whatnot. That first year is a tough one, so we'll kind of wait and see. Like, hopefully he's had a good summer and comes out strong at training camp.
Absolutely. Okay, and then moving on to the fourth line, I'm actually going to just let you run with it because...
Yeah, I'm the OHL prospect guy. I watched a lot of minor midget hockey last year, and I actually ended up ranking all the players. Well, actually the top 60 for the 2018 OHL draft. And so, yeah, so we got Riley Piercy on the third line, right wing. He actually shoots left, and he's from the Toronto Marlboros, the GTHL. He's 6'2.5", 184 pounds. Basically, the book on him is he's an excellent skater with a long fluid stride, really high-end top speed, great edge work, and a really quick first step. So he does a lot of utilizing his skating ability and his size to create space for himself in the offensive zone. He tracks down loose pucks. His forechecking ability is just fantastic. He's got a great stick, huge body checker. He wins loads of puck battles, and he's a guy that improved a ton throughout the minor midget season. So he's got a really high ceiling, and one that, I mean, he's a 16th overall pick in the 2018 OHL draft. He could end up turning out to be much better than that. So that's pretty exciting. In the summer, he's kind of separated himself from the other rookies on the team. He's really kind of like making a name for himself, for sure, with the Colts brass, no doubt. He's looking amazing, so I'm really excited to see him make the transition to the OHL. And then when we get to the fourth line, we got 3 more rookies. So the first guy we got here at center is Tyson Forrester. He's a 55th overall pick from the Barrie Junior Colts, just under 6 foot at 173 pounds. And Tyson, obviously from homegrown from the Barrie AAA Junior Colts program. He's a player that I'd actually ranked a lot higher than where he got drafted. I had him ranked 34th overall, and he ended up going 55th overall to the Colts. So that's a bit of a steal there. The Colts were surprised actually to see him there when he got drafted. So that's pretty awesome to get him, a second-round talent in the third round. And like Piercy, he's another player who showed tremendous improvement over the year. So therefore, he projects well into the future and has a really high ceiling. And so moving over to the right wing, we got Eric Russell, who's actually a left wing who shoots left, but we put him into the right wing just to kind of fill him in there. He's from the Vaughan Kings GTHL program, 6'1.5", 178 pounds. He's got just a fantastic shot, just a cannon of a shot, and he skates pretty well. He's a bit bull-legged, but he's got wicked edges in his turns. He kind of like whips around. He's got a really good first step, gets open in the offensive zone. And with that ability to get open, he can, once he gets a puck, he can unload that shot. And he's a guy who's going to probably score a ton of goals in the OHL. All right, I'm like going on and on here.
Oh, please do.
Yeah.
So we're over to the
all right, yeah. So over
to
the left wing, we got Connor LePage. So he's a forward from the 2001 draft, fourth-round pick. Basically, or 2001 born draft. He's a 2017 draft pick. He's basically another guy with like a wicked shot. He sniped the game winner in the semifinal at the Carnivale Hockey Group playoffs there. Just filling the score sheet this summer. He's a player who I think was a bargain in the 2017 draft in the fourth round. He's from the Toronto Titans. He had huge stats. I think over 50 goals that year. So the Colts let him use Aaron Luchuk's gloves at the Carnivale Summer League tournament there. So that could be a little bit of foreshadowing into him making the team. And yeah, he's another player I really like. So I've got 4 rookies on the
bottom 6 there.
Yeah, and we also have Heister as a flex in there at center.
And obviously seeing Heister a lot more. That's who I had on mine. But again, I haven't watched the other guys as closely as you have. So. Obviously, it's going to come down to training camp, and a lot of these guys are going to have to work hard to get that spot.
I should mention that Tyson Forster, he didn't get an invite to the U17 camp. So basically, about a month ago, Eric Russell and Riley Piercy went to the U17 camp. I don't really understand why Tyson Forster wasn't there. I kind of see that as a bit of a joke, but. Eric Russell was there, got a goal and assist, 2 points in 3 games, and Riley Piercy was also there. He got a goal, and he definitely missed out on an assist. I was watching some of the games online there, and he had a pretty nice assist that he didn't get credit for. So hopefully those guys make the U17 team, Eric Russell and Riley Piercy, and that would take them out of a few games, I believe, in October. Somewhere later on in the year. So we'll see about that.
Beautiful. So that wraps up the forwards. So we're going to move on to defense. So with the first pairing at left defense, Nathan Allenson.
All right, Nathan Allenson, another guy in his draft year. He's got a lot of potential. I see him kind of going in round 2 to 3. I've seen some top 100 rankings, and he's not even on there yet. But I think by the time the season's all said and done, he's probably like a round 2 guy, potentially even round 1. He's got like fantastic skating, turns well, stops on a dime, just an unbelievable skater. So he's a guy that can stick with top forwards and shut them down. And we're looking for him to run maybe the second power play. Joey Keane's probably going to run that first power play. Howard Chuck seems to like having 4 forwards on there. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see Nate Allenson running that second unit. And he's definitely going to be the future power play quarterback for the Colts once Keane's gone.
So absolutely, like you said, I loved watching him skate. He's just so smooth out there and fluid. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure that he'll come in just looking great this year, especially being on possibly getting that top line. Especially as we move to the right defense, Joey Keane.
Joey Keane, USA World Summer Showcase. He was unbelievable out there. John Van Briesbroek, the U.S. GM, said that he was the biggest surprise on the team. He impressed their brass big time. You're looking at him. He ended up on the top power play unit with Jack Hughes. And I think we can expect him there in the World Junior Championship with the performance he put in this summer for USA Hockey.
And he just looked outstanding when he was getting on the power play, especially his just ability to just kind of move in with the play. And there was that one game, I don't remember exactly which one it was, where they ended up turning the puck over, and he ended up having to skate back to his zone, and he just literally darted past everybody.
He just flies. His speed is unbelievable.
Such a good skater, and at 44 points last year, he had a plus-minus of plus 45.
Yes, and also plus 45, super strong defensively. In the OHL coaches poll, he was the top defensive defenseman last year and also the most improved player. So we saw him get drafted by the New York Rangers in the 3rd round, and I expect him to have an NHL career. But until then, he's going to run the Colts power play and light it up in 2018-19.
No, absolutely. He's just going to be outstanding. I'm just very, very, very anxious to see him this year. He's one of my guys. I love watching him play.
Unbelievable.
And just so good. And then next, we will move to the second pairing. On left wing, we have Justin Murray.
Yeah, Justin Murray, we talked about him last episode a lot, so we're not going to go too much into him, but he just does everything well. He's a super smart player, thinks the game well, moves the puck well, and real efficient. So he's the captain of the team, the leader of the Colts, and we expect him back even though he's an overager, and we've got that extra overage on the depth chart right now. I don't see him going anywhere. And we talked about him as a guy that we were surprised didn't get invited to any development camps for the NHL this summer.
Yeah, no, and then one thing that he does really well is shooting the puck. I feel like every time he gets the puck at the point, he's at least directing it towards the net. 133 shots on goal last year. He got just 6 goals, but 31 points with the 25 assists. He had a really good season, and he should be a really good year for him as well. And then we're going to move over to the right wing where we've got Tyler Tucker.
Yeah, Tyler Tucker, Big Tucks, spent the summer with St. Louis Blues at development camp, 7th round pick this summer as well. And this summer I've noticed at Carneville Hockey that he's been doing a lot of rushing the puck, and it looks like he's going to want to provide a little bit more offensive punch, and I think he's going to turn a lot of heads and surprise a lot of people this year with his offensive production.
No, absolutely. And it's not really a great way to judge a player's development in the off season. But when me and Justin went to the Hockey Night in Barrie game, though it was a charity game, his skating just looked like it had improved so much, and his conditioning, he just looked like he was more confident on the ice. And it's just, I think that he's obviously been really working hard this off season. So I don't know if you have anything that you wanted to add on Tucker. I feel like we covered a lot of stuff on him there.
Yeah, he's a big hitter and really good below the dots, tough guy. Kind of moves guys around, and man, he's just gonna make life hell for opposing forwards.
It's too bad that the OHL doesn't really track hits because his numbers would just be
huge,
ridiculous.
Especially this season, he's gonna be throwing some hits. The OHL likes to give a lot of penalties for body checking, but I don't think Tucker cares. He's going to be smashing guys.
Me and Justin actually, when we were at Hockey Night in Barrie, we kept joking. We're like, he's going to, it looked like he wanted to just run over someone. We're like, Tucker's going to end up, steamrolling a dude. This is a charity game, and, he obviously he's a smart kid, and, he was out there, he was just having fun, but it was really good to see, how well he was skating. I can't emphasize how good he looked, because he looked excellent. So we're going to move on to the third D pairing, and at left defense, you have Matthew Hill.
Yeah, Matt Hill, a 2001 born defenseman. He's in his draft year. He's a real strong player. His skating is just unbelievable. I saw some postings on Instagram, and he's been doing some work on his skating this summer, and he's looking pretty solid. So, I think he's going to turn a lot of heads, and he's going to be a really solid depth defender for the Colts.
Absolutely. He only had 30 games there last season, and I'm sure that obviously this year, getting more games, I think that will give him a chance to really find his game, and I think that he'll be a good depth guy for the team, like you said.
Yeah, and he's big too. like moving over to his partner that we've got projected here, Chris Cameron, another physical big defender. So that'll be a real tough pairing to play against. It's almost like two Chris Prongers out there. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, so they got Hill at 6'3", 186 pounds.
Yeah,
who knows if he's put on a little bit of weight or size in the offseason.
Oh yeah, no, he looks big. Like they're both a little bit nasty. So I don't imagine that opposing forwards are going to have a lot of fun matching up against those two.
No, absolutely. And Cameron, I mean, 63 games there last season. He still put up 11 points. You know, he looked good. And
plus 20.
Yeah, which is a great number. You know, it's not like he was getting a lot of minutes in games anyways, right? So I'm really excited to see how, you know, like you said, that's going to be a big pairing. So.
Yeah, he's going to step up this year. He'll be definitely in that top 6.
Yeah, totally. So we're going to move on to goaltending here. Again, it's going to depend on, you know, what ends up happening with Zukov, whether he, you know, it's looking good, like he might end up reporting, but you know, again, we don't know. We haven't heard any confirmation or anything along those lines. So right now we have Kai Edmonds in that top goaltending spot for the Colts.
Yeah, and Kai Edmonds, we talked about him a lot in the last episode, so we're not going to go too much into it here, but he's looked pretty solid for the Colts. He had that big shutout against Owen Sound, I believe 48 saves, so we'll see how he looks when he shows up. And Colts actually just signed a goalie this summer, Jet Greaves, who could end up having
name of all time.
The greatest name in the OHL.
Ever. Possibly in the history. I mean, Jet Greaves, just outstanding.
The nickname possibilities are endless.
Endless.
So he signed, and he's just an athletic, quick, strong goalie. He played last year with the Guelph Hurricanes from the Cambridge minor midget program. So we're really excited to have him. He was a third-round pick in the 2017 draft, so that's a great signing. Third-round pick for a goalie is pretty strong. Goalies never go in the first round, like very, very rarely. I don't even remember if there's been one in recent years. There hasn't been one in forever. So, yeah, so for him to be a third-round pick, the Colts are ecstatic that he signed with the club.
Oh, absolutely. We got Zukov at camp, too, just having them all battle it out.
It looks like the Zukov situation's looking pretty good. He spent some time in Barrie. They've been recruiting him heavily. He was also playing with the team in the Carnival Summer Hockey League in the playoffs there on Saturday and Sunday a couple weeks ago. So it's looking pretty good just for him to be on the team, but no official announcement of him signing. Goalie from Russia, so hopefully we get him. And Matej Pekar, who's another guy, Czech Republic forward, and it's not looking too good with him. He's looking like a bit of a long shot at this point, so there's a little bit of an update there.
Hopefully we can they can figure that out and bring him in. I mean, the more bodies we can get at camp, the more, you know, the more hustle from guys to try to earn that spot. So, you know, but yeah, like you said, it's not looking as optimistic with him. But and that wraps up the depth chart, I think. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on, or anything else that you wanted to add?
Yeah, I mean, like maybe I'll just add a few guys that I've had my eye on in terms of guys that could potentially make the team. Peyton Shaley, 2001 born forward, 2017 draft. He's got a lot of skill, elusiveness. There's been some videos posted online from Warble Hockey, and he's looking pretty strong. So look out for him. Peter Fleming, he's a 2001 born, so 2017 draft, big, strong player. Colts don't really have a lot of size up front, so he could make a run at the team. And I really like Aiden Hughes. Aiden Hughes is an 8th-round pick from the 2018 draft. He was a bit of a steal. He's from the Mississauga Reps minor midget program. And, I mean, there's 3 Americans that could make some noise. They were all all-stars at the USA Hockey Development Camp Select 16. That's Ryan Beck, Matt Coronado, and Nate Hanley. So look for them to make noise if those guys show up at camp. I know Ryan Beck is eager to make the team, and he could possibly do that 6th-round pick from the Oakland Junior Grizzlies program. And I should also mention Rocco Testabassi, 5th-round pick from 2018. He's from the Ottawa area. He's another guy with a good shot, and we'll see. Training camp will be interesting.
Another good name to go with Jack Reeves.
And, yeah, we got some information on training camp, actually. August 28th, The Tuesday is the first day of camp, and Gene Pereira put out in his article that the morning and afternoon that day there's going to be scrimmage games, and also on the Wednesday the 29th, the same thing, morning and afternoon scrimmage games. And Thursday, the 30th, the blue-white games at 6 p.m. So get out to that. That's all free stuff. So
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I mean, like,
and they usually give out some free food at the blue and white game as well.
hot dogs and a pop or something.
I usually end up going there because I mean they usually get a decent turnout, but they usually end up with a bunch of extra tickets, and they usually look at me. I'm a pretty skinny guy, so they usually throw me a couple extra hot dogs. Like, come on, just eat something, buddy. And
oh man,
not realizing I'm a glutton, but
like we said this in our first episode, if you want to see some good hockey, get out to that training camp. These guys are just battling for spots. With the competitiveness and how many good prospects the Colts have, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw some fireworks, maybe some fights. You never know. Like, it's going to be pretty intense. So,
in previous years, it's not as many locked positions as there normally would be. There's a lot more room for people to earn spots. So you just know that the competition is going to be that much more. Like people are going to be putting in that much more effort for it. So you're really doing yourself a disservice if you don't go out. If you're a Colts fan, anyways, and check out these guys as they try to earn their spot on the team.
Yeah, book the time off work now.
Absolutely, you got time. There's still just a couple weeks, maybe not even. So you better be getting a hold of your boss and just let them know. Absolutely. So now the next thing that we're not gonna get too much into it, but it was something that we have been discussing a little bit on social media and stuff. And actually, I've got a post I'm gonna be working on, hopefully to get together here in the next few days, just about the attendance for the Colts. Last season, 2018 was actually one of the worst as far as attendance goes for the Colts. They only averaged about 3,617 people per game, which is the fourth lowest in team history. Now, that seems odd when, the team had Andrei Svechnikov,
best prospect in the CHL.
And there was no surprises. It's not like he came in and kind of ended up, getting attention from, like, people knew that he was going to be a big deal when he came to Barrie. So
yeah, I think with Andrei Svechnikov, like maybe a bit of more promotion should have been done with him. He was a top prospect of the CHL, second overall pick to Carolina. And I know a lot of sports fans around town that go to Colts games occasionally, maybe once or twice a year. And halfway through the year, like, I'd asked these people, and they had no idea who he was. So I asked them, like, did you visit the Colts website and stuff? Yeah, like, they visit the Colts website. There should be stuff popping up, pictures, videos, something, just to kind of pump him up. And
a lot of people knock, like, Carolina and stuff, like, like NHL fans anyways. But like, the way that they've handled Svechnikov since drafting him, everything has just been about Svechnikov. And you see people in the comments are just so excited about it. It goes to show you what just a little bit of hype on social media even can do.
And we're not like blind to the fact that obviously the NHL is a bigger stage and they have a much larger social media presence. But man, we needed more with Svech there. Like, not a lot of people knew too much about it. So yeah.
Yeah, the team again. They finished first in the Central again. Like, this wasn't like the previous season where it was a struggling team. This was a solid team, and as it progressed, bringing in guys like Luchuk and Sokolov. Obviously the issue isn't with the quality of the product on ice. There's obviously other issues that need to be addressed, and there's so we took to Twitter just to kind of figure out what some other markets do, to try to bring in attendance. And one of our good buddies on Twitter, Todd McNaught, who is a big Steelheads fan, he brought to our attention how the Steelheads around Christmas time have holiday packs. So basically the way that works is you end up getting 4 red level tickets, 4 drinks, 4 popcorns, and 4 souvenir programs for $60. And this isn't just something like, this is something that they've run for over a month. It goes from the 24th, well, last year anyways, I'm guessing.
Yeah, a couple months, eh?
That's a couple months that they, like, $60 for just 4 tickets. You couldn't get 4 tickets to a Colts game, let alone including 4 drinks, 4 popcorn. That's, your drinks and popcorn are probably going to run you that same amount. So, this isn't this isn't something obviously that you could run all the time with the team, but it's something in the holidays that you can do. Other areas we saw that, like Flint, for example, they do $2 beers, $2 hot dogs, and $2 popcorns for games through Monday and Thursday.
Yeah, and those ones, like those Thursday games, are sparsely attended. The Saturday ones aren't too bad, but we got to get a better atmosphere at the BMC. It's a little quiet. And,
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, it's a little bit like a library out there. Like, if we have some people get some incentive, get to a few games, they'll pay the full price the next time. So.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, even in Windsor, it's a very similar thing where it's Monday through Thursday. It's $2 beer, $2 pizza. You know, and obviously not everything has to necessarily be through concession. James Vernon on Twitter also told us that the city of Guelph does $1 transit to and from Storm games.
Nice.
So that just shows that the city itself, not only like the team and the ownership, and you know, it's a city that's also trying to get people out to games. And one thing that you kind of touched on there was that Saturday games are not the issue. You know, you go to BMC on a Saturday, and most times it's a great crowd and there's a lot of people there. But obviously with Thursday, you know, obviously a lot of the fans are kids, and especially with the school year, you know, it's kind of tough to get the kids to stay up late and then have them worry about getting them to school the following day. So obviously there's got to be ways that they can offer incentives just to get people to go out. You know, one of like Justin Stapleton from the blog, one of the things he mentioned that a lot of teams do is offer things like flex passes. You know,
yeah,
so maybe,
flex packs. Yeah,
maybe they could offer, you know, where you get like even if it's like a 6 games,
yeah.
you know, when you get a discount, pick whatever amount of games you want, then you're locking people into so many games throughout the season.
And I mean, if Thursday games are the problem, why not do flex packs for Thursdays? So 6 Thursday games, and they can be offered cheaper than 6 Saturday games. I don't know. Different
Absolutely.
ideas, right? Flex packs are always a good thing. You see those all around the league. For someone like me, that would work better. I'd probably end up at more games if I did that. I live in Toronto now, so I watch most of the games on TV, and I watch a lot of games on the road. But yeah, flex packs would be good, and that would be good for a lot of people. We probably have a lot more tickets sold if you use those.
No, absolutely. And, you know, I mean, it's also a matter of just, you know, like if you wanted to, like another thing they can consider doing is if you like doing family tickets. You know, if you have the whole family go out, just give a discount rate to families, or even Thursdays could be buy a ticket, get one, not necessarily free, or even just half off or something. Or if you wear a Barrie Colts jersey to the game, you know, you save, you know, 20% on your ticket. You know, like, I mean, there's just little things that the team could probably do that would get people to come out to these games. Again, Saturdays, not so much an issue, but those Thursday games can be pretty slim pickings at BMC or whatever the arena is going to be called after December 31st.
Yeah, it's not a great trend to see attendance not being good when you have a player like Andrei Svechnikov. And we had Ryan Suzuki, obviously the first overall pick in the OHL draft. Really strong team. Aaron Luchuk, the leading scorer in the league.
Dmitry Sokolov
over a goal a game. But yeah, and even in the playoffs, like attendance wasn't particularly great. So we need to get a little bit of better atmosphere in Barrie and get people a little more excited.
Maybe they could give a Charlie horse like one of those like air horns or something like that too, just to kind of like shoot at people. Just
it's nothing like the old days, man. Like back in the old days, it was always packed, always loud. Yeah, and this year we were on a championship run, and it was kind of disappointing.
No, and it's worth noting that, I mean, even with the 3,517 among the OHL, I mean, that's not a terrible attendance. I mean, it's BMC holds, 4,195, maybe 4,200 people, not including standing room. So if you go to the higher end of that scale, shockingly, the number one team for attendance is the London Knights, which last season averaged 8,959 people, which is massive. Like, that's huge. And then to go to the lower end of the scale, you got the North Bay Battalion, which averaged 2,385 people last season. So in that 12th spot, you know, Barrie's kind of hovering around that middle grounds there. But again, like when you've got the talent that the team has, I mean, there's no reason that they shouldn't. You know, I don't expect every night to be a sellout.
Yeah.
You know, that's not realistic. But, you know, to have an average of, what is it we got there? like 600 seats that are empty at BMC at any given night. You know, there's things that they can do. And like we said, we're going to be in the next couple days on the blog. We're going to be giving some other suggestions and stuff. I've got to post in the works, and you know, be sure to keep your eye open for that. And yeah, that's it. So this season, guys, get tickets. Go see the Colts.
Yeah, I mean, like, you got a new scoreboard to look at.
Which is gorgeous.
Scoreboard is unbelievable. I wasn't at Hockey Night in Barrie, but I saw the scoreboard. I went to check it out at the BMC. It's got a light ring on the bottom,
nice.
Super big screens. I'm assuming HD. So, what'd you think of it?
It's pretty sweet. Yeah? It looked really nice, man. Like
I'm pumped to see it.
It looks huge too. Like you just go in there and you're like, wow, what a different atmosphere, you know. So I mean, it's good to see that the team is trying to put things into the arena just to kind of, you know, I mean, not that like you're not going to all of a sudden fill 600 empty seats with the new scoreboard, but as far as the atmosphere, as far as the abilities that this scoreboard is going to give them, as far as like, who knows what they're going to do with video replay? Yeah. Who knows? Maybe they'll, like, when games are being broadcast through Rogers TV, maybe they will have it up on the board.
I'm so pumped to see it. I really hope that they got a new a goal horn or like a new goal song or something planned, something with the sound system to go along with the new big screens. But yeah, we'll see what they've got. Goal horn would be cool. We had a post about that recently with suggested songs and various things. So let us know, fans. Like, what do you guys think we should use for a goal song or intro songs and whatnot?
And that was something that will be included in the post as well. And like you said, we kind of touched on it where you, Justin, and myself kind of gave our selections for what we would like to see for player intros, for what we would like to see for the goal song.
Yeah.
What did you have for your goal song again?
It was a Pennywise song, and basically you got to scroll through to the chorus there. I can't remember the name of the song, but it was a pretty good one.
Absolutely.
It's a pretty good one.
I had Party Hard by Andrew WK, actually. He ended up retweeting our post the other day. We ended up with just a huge boost in yeah,
that's a huge share.
It was massive. And I mean, he's done stuff with other projects that I have, like other websites and stuff. And just a great guy. And I feel like if the Colts did end up actually using his song, they could talk him into doing stuff to help support the team. He's a really, really solid guy. So, and I mean, Party Hard is just a great song. So,
yeah. So 9 days until Barrie Colts training camp. So Luke Pither wore number 9 for the Colts. We also have my personal favorite, Alexander Volchkov from the 1995 Colts. And, man, he was just unbelievable. Just the flair and the raw talent that he had, he was exceptional to watch. So 9 days until training camp. It's very close. Hockey's coming soon. Get excited, Barrie. You got a good team this year.
Totally.
Lots of guys are developing well, and it's pretty exciting.
And 32 games until the Barrie Colts home opener. So we are just about a month away from regular season hockey. Sveshnikov got 32 assists last season, so
nice.
Which I think is 7th most in I did a post on it, right? 7th most in team history for a rookie. So
yeah, he was awesome.
Well, he was so awesome, man. We're gonna miss that.
Just give him back, Carolina. One more year, please.
We could just like maybe get like some like soft music as like just a way of like trying to talk to him. Just give us one more year with him, please.
No, not
a
promise
to. Yeah, there's no way it's gonna happen. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up for episode 2.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you very much. Be sure to check us out on Twitter. The blog's Twitter, as Ryan mentioned earlier, is at Barrie Colts, VERYBARRIECOLTS. Me, Ryan Noble 66. I'm not going to spell that out again.
Yeah, Ryan P. McArthur for me, and lots of stuff on the Colts there. Like it's if you were looking at our Twitter accounts, you wouldn't even think it was summer. We're
been pretty active, and as the season goes on, there's going to be a lot more, obviously. So, and also check us out. We are also on Facebook, and we are also on Instagram. And this podcast you can listen to on many different platforms, including Google Play now, and we're also on iTunes. So be sure to give us a share. And yeah, until next episode, thank you very much for listening.
Yeah, say hi at training camp.
Please do, yes. If you see us at BMC, definitely stop us. I'm going to be distributing some of our cards at the games and at training camp as well. So I know that the three of us will be there, so be sure to just come over and give us a nudge if you see us. Don't be shy.
Sounds good.
Beautiful. Thanks again for tuning in, guys.
All right, thanks a lot. Go Colts, go.
Proving a nuisance to my revolution. Soon get you bruised with my movements, blueprints. Music I splatter, oozes the same gruesome putrid fluid as a slain cadaver. Moving through chapels.